How do you invest? And has that changed over time? And how could you tell people about it or educate them on that?
Yeah, well, I used to just call myself a value investor. I pray in the church of Graham, Dodd, Buffett, and Munger, right? And that had sort of very clear things. But I would say the biggest mistake I made for the first almost 20 years of my career is I was really focused on valuation. That's what a value investor does. And growth investors just cared about growth, right? But I would argue that I don't call myself a value investor anymore. I call myself a make money investor, right? Because that's really the goal of investing. And by changing the terminology, I think it opens my mind up a little bit more, which is, if I were to summarize it, I would say I always knew that the growth of a business and the quality of a business was important, but my initial screen was the valuation of the stock. So I would cast a net out there for stocks trading at less than 10 times earnings or a financial company trading at less than book value. And that would be my universe, maybe 100 companies. And then I would sift through those 100 statistically cheap stocks, and I would look for better businesses. And every once in a while I'd get lucky and I'd find a really high quality business that had just gotten trashed, like McDonald's in 2002 into early 2003. Stock went from 44 to 12. This was one of the most widely held stocks in America. It was down 80% or so. And so you could buy a world-class business at a statistically super cheap price. And I rode that up into the 60s for 6 years. It was one of the best investments in my early career. But when I look back, that was more of an outlier. It was very rare to find a world-class business that really got cheap on traditional valuation metrics. So I missed huge numbers of great companies. Today, I have the opposite approach, which is I cast a net out there looking for the 100 best businesses I can find. And then I search through them, trying to find stocks that aren't wildly overvalued, that might be somewhat undervalued, where I can get in at a price where I can look myself in the mirror and say, I'm just not, being crazy on the valuation. Because what I found is that over 5 years, 10 years, certainly longer than that, the return I earn as an investor is 80% determined on how the business performs, and only 20% on how cheap the stock was and how clever I was at getting in right at the bottom.
Okay. So you're not worried as much about getting that real outlier. You want to invest in something that's a good, decent value and then grows as an intelligent business over time.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Brian Rose, and I've just wrapped filming of an exclusive video with Whitney Tilson, the American investor, author, and founder of Empire Financial Research, about some exciting investment opportunities in the electric vehicle and autonomous driving space.
When revolutionary new technologies come along, they follow an S-curve like that. And I think we're in the very early, right about to hit that inflection point with both electric and autonomous vehicles in a way that, I could see in 10 years where more than half of all the cars sold will be both electric and pretty much self-driving, if not full level 5, certainly level 4.
Whitney has been called the prophet by CNBC because of his uncanny ability to predict the future with his investment advice. And our video will not be available on YouTube or anywhere else but the link below.
It's an incredibly exciting area, and I don't think people fully appreciate how quickly it's going to happen.
Look, we've all seen the massive moves in Tesla stock recently, and yet most of us missed it. But Whitney has 5 special investment ideas that the general public have never heard of that will allow you to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in the electric vehicle and autonomous driving space.
Think of the implications for auto insurance if computers are driving cars. Hopefully, almost 40,000 Americans die every year on the roads, and many, many more injured.
The truth is, this sector is going to change everything, from energy to automotive to insurance, even saving hundreds of thousands of lives due to car accidents every single year. And because you are a London Real viewer, I've managed to get you free access to his groundbreaking special investment report through the link below.
We're rushing to finish our research and write it up and get it out because all the publicity with Tesla stock ripping is drawing attention to the whole sector, and we want to get our report out quickly so that our readers and subscribers can take advantage of some of the other stocks that investors haven't yet picked up on and haven't yet tripled, but we think have that kind of potential.
Whitney says that we should expect exponential growth in this sector, much like we saw with the introduction of the iPhone in 2007. Imagine being an investor in Apple back then. How much would you have made? So click on the link below or go to londonreal.tv/invest to watch our video and download your copy of this free report. Unfortunately, I've been limited to the number of people who can have access, so act now and get your free copy to take advantage of this incredible investment opportunity.